Hi YouTube, it's your girl Juanita Franklin. Come to you guys with another video on today. But before I get into what this video is about, I just want to say I hope all is well with everyone. I hope everybody's doing what it takes to keep themselves safe from this coronavirus. This COVID-19 is going around in our country. I hope everybody's finding joy, love, and happiness and peace in your lives. I hope everybody's doing fine. Okay, guys, this video is a story time. And it's about God's healing. And I just want to say to you guys, some of you guys may know, some of you guys may not know. There are two sides to God's healing. Okay, I'm going to explain both sides to you. But before I explain both sides to you, I'm going to tell you guys a couple of stories. Okay, so the first story is, long time ago, when my kids was a baby, I had a family member that passed away. And it was one of my favorite family members. It was one of my favorite uncles. And the night before he passed, I was literally up all night, worrying myself to death, praying, kept calling the hospital because I couldn't sleep. And I was praying for God to heal his body. I was praying for him to get well. I was praying for him to come out that situation, get better, and come home. And I prayed off and on through that whole night, and I kept calling the hospital to check on him, but they kept giving me bad news each time I called. So, guys, by 9 o'clock that morning, or a little after 9 that morning, I ended up getting a phone call from a family member that told me that his doctor had said they wanted the whole family to come out to the hospital. So mind you, I had to call around through my family to get a way up there. I had to get my kids dressed, and my kids was little at the time; they was babies. So I had to get my kids dressed and get myself dressed, get myself ready, get them ready, and then get a ride from a family member up there. Because mind you, I do drive, but I didn't have a vehicle back then. I do drive though. I don't have a car right now, but I do drive. So I'm gonna work on me another car soon. So anyway, while I was trying to call around, get a ride up there, trying to get my kids ready, trying to get myself ready. So by the time I got to trying to get a ride up there, trying to get myself ready, my kids ready, it was like it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I ended up getting a phone call from a family member that telling me that my uncle has just passed. So I didn't get a chance to even make it up there to see him before he passed away. Anyway, and then years later, I ended up meeting this lady. She said she was a woman of God, and she was friends with a pastor. The pastor ended up sick that she was friends with, ended up sick in the hospital in intensive care on life support. So she went up there to pray for him, and she said when she got up there, she went to his intensive care room, she put oil on him, and she held his hand and she prayed. She's praying for God to heal him, for him to get better, for him to come home. But she said while she was praying over him, God spoke to her and told her, you cannot stop my job. So she said soon the Holy Spirit spoke to her and told her that he took his last breath and he died right in front of her. So that really devastated her because that was one of her dear friends at the time. So back now for explaining about what is two sides to God's healing. The first side is if somebody you know, I don't know if you guys ever in the past prayed over a loved one being sick, or a friend or somebody you knew in the past, they was in the hospital in intensive care on life support. You pray for them to get better. You pray for God to heal their body. You pray for them to get well. You pray for them to come home. And someone might physically got well and went home. Then there's been time you might have prayed for someone to get better, for God to heal them, for them to get well, for them to come home, and they still died. So that means, some healing is physical healing. You can pray for somebody to get well, they'll get well, come out the intensive care room and go home. Then some healing, you can pray for them to get God to heal them, for them to get well, and they still pass away. And God healed them by bringing them out of all that pain and suffering they're going through, laying up in that intensive care room on life support, and take them on to glory, as they say. Take them on to heaven, So it's two sides to God's healing. It's the physical side where God to heal your body and you'll get out that intensive care room and go home. Then it's the side where God will heal you by releasing you from all that pain and suffering that you've been going through in that intensive care room on that life support machine and take you on to glory. It's two sides to God's healing. And when you pray for somebody, for God to heal somebody, for somebody to get well, somebody to get better, you do be wanting that person to get better. Because no one want to see nobody love die and leave here. Nobody do. And that's the part I didn't understand when I was younger. Years ago when I was younger, I didn't understand God's healing. Because back then I didn't know the word of God. I didn't know the Bible like I know now. So I didn't understand God's healing back then. I didn't understand, there's two sides to it. You know what I'm saying? So, because I was praying real hard for my uncle to get better, for him to get well. And he didn't. He still passed away. And I also prayed in the past for some loved ones and family members to get better. Some got better and came home. Then some didn't. Some still passed away, even though I prayed for them to get better. So you never know how God going to heal the individual. So I would tell anyone, some of you guys might already know about this. Some of you guys might be new to this. It's two sides to God's healing. The only thing I can tell you guys, like in the far future, if a loved one or a family member or a friend or somebody gets sick and end up in the hospital on life support, and you pray for God to heal them, for them to get well, for them to get better, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself when you pray for God to heal them. But God do work miracles. Sometimes He will work a miracle and get that individual well and let the individual go home. God is a miracle working God. Sometimes He do work miracles on people. And the person will get well and the person will go home and leave the hospital. The person will end up off hospice, end up off life support, end up going home. I don't wish death on no one on this earth. If God gave me all His power and I was able to do the things the way I want to do them, it wouldn't be no dying. It wouldn't be no dying out here in this world. Everybody live forever. Because I don't wish death on no one. I don't pray death on no one. I'm not a monster. You're not supposed to do those type of things to people. So I would never do that. But, that's a death and sickness. Death is a part of life. Everybody, leave one day when maybe you get old as dirt. You know what I'm saying? Some people, I want to live to God. I'm not gonna lie. I want to live a long, healthy life. Till I get old as dirt. I don't want to live here. I want to live a long life till I get old as dirt. And I wish you guys and my family, and everybody else out here, I hope to God, all of us live a long, healthy life. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I wanted to teach you guys. It's two sides to God's healing. The Bible says healing is the children's bread. The Bible also say if you get sick, call on the elders of the church and let them pray. So like I said, it's two sides to God's healing. And I wish everybody a long, healthy life, including myself, including my family members, including everybody I know, everybody that's in my life. I wish everybody a long, healthy life. I don't wish sickness and death on no one. If I had it, like I said, if God would have gave me all His power and let me have my way with it, it wouldn't be no dying. For real. Another thing I want to touch on while I'm doing this story time is any parents out here that have small children, a little advice. You got small kids. Because I don't know how some parents raise their kids, but when my kids was little, I didn't let my kids go visit people's houses and let them go visit places that they weren't happy at. I didn't. If my kids wasn't happy, they're not going. One thing we as parents and even as grandparents, because a lot of grandparents is help raising their grandkids, we got to make sure that our grandkids and our kids is safe and okay and happy at all times. Kids need to be able to grow up and have a normal, healthy childhood. A normal, healthy childhood. That's what kids need to grow up having. A normal, healthy childhood. Okay? All kids need to have a normal, healthy childhood. So, don't take your kids around. Don't let your kids go visit nowhere or at places or visit peoples that they're not happy at, that they're not happy being around. If they're unhappy, don't let them visit that place. Okay? Because your kids come first. Your kids' happiness come first. Your kids' happiness go above your own. There's nothing wrong with you being happy, but your kids deserve to be happy as well. You got to do what it takes as a parent and as a grandparent to make sure your grandchildren and make sure your kids and your grandchildren is thriving, healthy, happy, living a normal, healthy childhood, growing up to have a normal, healthy childhood. Okay? Don't take them around places and people that's not going to treat them right. All kids deserve to get treated good. Don't take them around people that abuses children. Okay? Don't take your grandkids or your kids to visit nobody's houses that abuse kids. Period. Because that's your job when you got pregnant with those kids. The mother's job when they got pregnant with those babies is to protect their children at all costs and keep those kids safe. When God gave you those kids, He gave you those kids to protect and keep safe, and don't let nothing bad happen to them, and don't let nobody do nothing evil to them. That became your job the moment you conceived those babies. So that's my advice to the young mothers and to the grandparents that help raising your grandchildren. Never let your kids and grandkids visit places or peoples that they're not happy to visit or they're not happy to be around. My kids, when they was little, they went to this one place one time to visit for a few hours. I went back and got them. When my daughter complained about something, my kids didn't go back there. My youngest daughter complained to me about something when she was little. And guess what? My kids didn't go back there. Because guess what? My daughter wasn't happy there, and she wasn't going to be in an environment or a place or people she was not happy to be around. Because I wasn't going to have nobody mistreating my kids. Put it like that. Nobody finna mistreat my kids. Your kids come first. Family over everything. Family over everything. Your kids come first. Period. My kids and my grandbaby come first. Period. So that's the only thing I'm saying. Another thing I want to touch on right quick before I forget. I'm still, as you guys know, I'm still in therapy. Some of my new subscribers might not know that I'm in therapy. I'm still in therapy. And my therapist told me last week, a lot of people in this world don't have therapy, and it's not crazy. That don't mean you crazy because you're in therapy. Some people done been through some things in their past that traumatized them, wounded them, scarred them, broken them, and hurted them. Okay? Some people went through some traumatizing experience in their past and walking around carrying trauma up in them right now. And suppressing those feelings. Like she said, you're not supposed to suppress those feelings. I mean, you're not supposed to walk around carrying that type of burden and pain, that type of trauma and pain and wound and scar in you. You know what I'm saying? If you've been through some of your past that traumatized you, and you walk around carrying trauma in your life, you need to be able to go get counseling, therapies, so you can heal. There's nothing wrong with therapy. God put the therapies and the God put the doctors here to help heal you. Okay, He put the therapy here to help heal you. You need to be able to heal mentally and emotionally from the things that traumatized you in your past. Not walking around carrying that trauma around with you. You know what I'm saying? Not walk around carrying that trauma. And I'm going to say this one more thing. Forgive your mama. Forgive your dad. Because guess what? A lot of things, if you grew up in a household and you was not taught a lot by your mom and your dad, guess what? A lot of times it's not their fault. And I learned that through life. A lot of times it's not their fault. Because your parents cannot teach you what they have not been taught themselves. So you can't hold that against you because they didn't teach you a lot of things, and certain things might happen to you in the past that shouldn't have happened. It's not your mom and your dad's fault because they didn't know themselves. How they gonna teach you something they don't know? How they gonna teach you something that their parents did not teach them when they was growing up? One thing about it I learned through life, our parents cannot teach us nothing that they don't know themselves. Because there's been people walk around blaming their mom and dad for stuff that happened in their childhood because their parents didn't teach them certain things, and it's not their mom and dad fault because their mom, dad didn't know their own self. Mommy and daddy didn't know themselves. How mommy and daddy gonna teach you something they don't even know? Oh, they wasn't even taught by their own parents. So forgive your parents. Forgive your parents. If you walk around holding a grudge and angry at your parents for some stuff they didn't teach you when you was growing up, and it caused you to go through something traumatizing when you was a kid growing up, forgive them. Forgive them, because a lot of times our parents cannot teach us something they didn't know themselves. You can't teach your kids something your own parent did not teach you. You can't teach your kids something if you don't know your own self. They can't teach you nothing they don't know. So don't hold that against them. Forgive them, okay? What else I want to touch bases on? Right quickly while I'm in this story time. Like I said, my therapist said don't suppress those feelings. Don't walk around holding those feelings on the inside of you. Go get you some therapy. Go seek counseling. Go get help so you can heal of that trauma. So you can heal of that wound. So you can heal of that pain. So you can heal of those scars. So you can heal. I don't have therapy. I'm in therapy right now. My kids going through therapy. You know, if you need it, you need it. There's nothing wrong with needing it. If you need to heal mentally and emotionally, physically, psychologically, go and do that. So you can be the best version of yourself. You can't walk around, keep suppressing those feelings, walk around with that stuff on the inside. That's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. Self-love. Love on yourself. I always say that. It's very important to love on yourself. The whole world can love you, but you got to love you. Love on yourself. Pamper and spoil yourself. Let yourself know you love yourself. Let yourself know you care about yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with the whole world spoiling you, pampering you. But spoil you, you spoil you and you pamper you. Treat yourself to a dinner. Treat yourself to a movie. Treat yourself on a shopping spree. Love on yourself. Love on you. Self-care and self-love is very important. A lot of people have walked around for years did not love themselves. But then they say, they say they love others. Self comes first. You got to love yourself before you can love anybody. You got to love you before you can love somebody else. You love you, then you able to love somebody else. But you got to love you first. So make sure you loving on yourself, taking care of yourself, showing yourself self-love and self-care. Love on yourself. Look in the mirror and say, "Good morning, gorgeous." Look in the mirror, call yourself gorgeous, you know. You know what I'm saying? Motivate yourself, you know. And give people their flowers while they living. Be kind to people. Kindness, it don't cost you nothing to be kind to anyone. Kindness goes a long way. Humble yourself. Be kind to everyone. Give people their flowers while they living. Love on your family members. Love on your friends. Love on people that's in your life. Give people their flowers while they living. Because guess what? When they dead and gone, ain't nothing they can do with those flowers. Give people their flowers while they living. It's so many times through the years when I was younger, and I went to different people's funeral. People get up and say all kind of nice things about the individual that's in the casket. There's nothing wrong with that. But say those nice things to the individual while they're living. People need to hear nice things about themselves while they're living. Tell people nice things about themselves while they're living. Do that while they're living. Make somebody's day. That could make somebody's day. You saying something good about them. You complimenting them. You don't know who day you making when you say nice things to people about themselves. People need to hear those things while they're living. Ain't nothing wrong with saying it at the individual's funeral, but say it while they're living as well. Give people they flower while they're living. Treat people right while they're living. So that way in the future, when they do leave here, you got nothing to feel bad about because you treated that person right. Yep, you treated that person right. Yep. Like I said, love on yourself. Treat your parents right. Love on your mom, love on your dad. Love on your mom, love on your dad. The Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father, so your days on this earth shall be long. Honor means respect. Respect your parents. I don't care how old you are. You're not too old to respect mom and dad. My mama was 73, about to be 74 next month in April. You bet your bottom dollar I don't disrespect that lady. I don't care how old I get. That's still mom. That's still mommy. That's still the lady that got pregnant with me, carried me 9 months, gave birth to me, and raised me and took care of me. That's still mommy. That's the lady that worked there hard. 30-some years on her job to make sure her kids was straight. That's the lady who was there when daddy wasn't there. That's the lady that kept the roof over my head till I got grown up to go get my own roof. That's the lady that nurtured me back to health when I was sick as a kid growing up. That's the lady that had my back through everything. You don't mistreat mommy and disrespect mommy for nobody. Because mama going to be there when daddy ain't there. Sometimes daddy be there too. But mommy going to be there if daddy. If daddy walk out the door, mommy still going to be there. So you got to honor your mom. You honor both your parents if you got both your parents in your life. But honor your mother. Respect her. Love on her. Spoil her. Pamper her. Just like she took care of you all those years. From a newborn baby up till you got grown up to take care of yourself. It's time for you to help take care of her. If she needs some money, you got it, give it to her. Give it to her, and guess what? Don't expect it back. Don't say, mama, here go $200. I'm lending you $200. Give it back to me when you get your check. No, let mama have that $200. And don't expect it back and don't want it back. Because guess what? She didn't ask you for it back when she took care of you. She didn't ask you for it back when she took care of you, so don't be asking her for it back. I'm not gonna lie, we owe our parents. I owe my mom big time. We owe our parents. I owe her big time. We owe our parents because, man, my mom took care of me and raised me from a newborn baby till I got grown up to take care of myself. When I walked out my mama's door at the age of 23 years old, I moved to my own apartment. I didn't leave home, go live from house to house. I moved to my own place. My mom took care of me till I walk out that door and move to my own apartment. And even after I moved, she was still helping me. So, honey, if your mom can help you all these years and help you still while you grown, then you supposed to help take care of them. You supposed to take care of them. I owe my mama so much because my mama did a lot for me through the years. You know, so yeah, honor your parents. You know, the Bible says honor your mother and your father, so your days on this earth shall be long. You know, I got $100 right now. My mama want it, she get it for real. Anyway, and like I said, I explained both sides of the healing. You know, and God do work miracles now. I'm a firm believer that God do work miracles. Sometimes he have worked miracles on people. Them people got well, came home, and never got sick again. God worked a miracle on my daughter. My daughter disabled. They diagnosed her with autism spectrum disorder when she was 1 year old. My daughter was born with autism spectrum disorder. She's born nonverbal. She cannot talk. She's born can't talk. She's born with autism spectrum disorder, and she was born can't walk. My daughter was 1 year old and was not doing what a normal 1 year old could do. She couldn't even walk at the age of 1. She didn't start walking until she got like 3 or 4 years old. And God worked a miracle on my daughter because the doctor told me when she was a baby, she wasn't gonna never walk or talk. When she was like 1 year old, they told me all that stuff. Told me my daughter was gonna never walk, never talk. She gonna have seizures, so her bones gonna break. Told me all that stuff. When my baby was only 1 year old when they told me that stuff. So I was freaking out as a mother. I walked around crying. As a mother, I was crying. My own mother had to literally calm me down. Cause that freaked me out. No mother don't want to hit they babies walking, no, they babies sick. Hear that type of news about their 1 year old baby. So yes, God worked a miracle on my daughter. If you guys want me to do a separate story time talking about the miracle God worked on my daughter, drop it in the comment section. Drop a comment in the comment section, and I will do a separate video talking about the miracle that God worked on my baby. Because God do work miracles. Because he definitely worked one on mine. Right before my very eyes, I literally watched how God worked a miracle on my daughter right before my very own eyes. So can't nobody tell me God don't work miracles, because he do. He's a miracle working God. Alright guys, I'm about to end this video. Comment, subscribe, like, share, hit the post notification button. Stay on this journey with me. You guys are my family. I love you guys. Peace. I'm out. I don't know what's wrong with this camera. Won't let me click it off. That's weird, guys. Trying to click the camera off, but it won't let me do it. This thing is tripping. Excuse me, guys. I'm coughing a little bit. Not but this changing weather. Everybody know